Hello, this is Clarissa, and I'm going to be showing you how to take a PDF file and turn it into an applique that you can stitch in your hoop. Okay, so basically a PDF file is a file that people use when they save things, so it can't be edited really easily. So you're going to have to change that PDF file into a JPEG or a PNG or something like that that the software can use. So let's start. You're going to have to get yourself a little tiny program of some sort to convert from that PDF file to a JPEG or you can use a JPEG, a PNG, a TIFF, whatever, but one of those files. So all I did was I just did a Google search, and I did, let's see, PDF to JPEG converter. And let's see, I just ended up using this one. It's free, a little program. And all I have to do is, now when you're, whoops, see, that's what happens. When you're using these free programs, you got to make sure don't click the wrong places. If you click the wrong places, you're going to get crazy ads and stuff. So it wants you to click here, but look closely. That's to get Map Assist. So we're going to go here and choose our file. And I took your file and saved it to a folder on my desktop. And there it is. There's the PDF. There it is. And it's asking me, do I want to convert in all the entire pages? Yes. And click convert. Oops, left click. And it's thinking about it. Then you want to save your JPEG, or, oh, no, I don't want to do that. You want to save your JPEG to that same folder. Let's download this, save to a device, and we're going to open it with our Windows Explorer, because it's a compressed file, a zipped file. And then we'll want to extract all those pages to the same folder they came out of. So that folder was on my desktop. It is that one called PDF. And just select that folder and extract. So it's extracting all of those items, and there they are as JPEG files. All right, so once you have that done, let's just minimize that and let's open our software. So in Total Control U, give that a second to open. Create a new design. And what I have in Total Control U is a little tiny program to change artwork into an SVG. You know, SVGs are easier to work with because they don't have pixels. So I'm going to go up to my little wizard hat and use this one, Auto Artwork Wizard. And we're going to select the image, and let's say, which one do we want to do? Let's do this one. Say open, and next. And then we will kind of crop that image. You can kind of see the dotted lines there moving. We don't need that lettering, so crop that down. Maybe crop this over a little bit there. And say next. And next. And finish. All right. So there is our SVG file. So if we zoom in on it, we can see there are no pixels. But we also see that it's a pretty thick line. So it did its best to interpret the information it saw. But we might want to break it up. So if we look here, we can see that's the bottom petal. Actually, let's just do this. Let's take this petal here, do a Control-C, Control-N for a new page, and a Control-V. There we go. So we've copied and pasted that petal into a new page. You can also do a not a control, but a copy, new page, paste. All right, so let's look at that image. And there we go. So we can see that that's an SVG. All right, so with it selected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click and break it apart to see if it has separate pieces, which it doesn't seem to have. It just has one piece that I can see. Oh, no, it does have two pieces. All right, so what happened when it converted it from a JPEG to an SVG, it saw that line as very thick, and so it saw two pieces. It saw the inside of that line and the outside of that line. Okay, so we just want the the outside of that line. And if we want to unfill it so we can see it better, we can check here and click this and unfill it. So there you go. Now we can see that it actually was quite literal, and it found two lines in that piece of artwork. So we're going to delete that inner line and just work with our outer line. Then we'll just use our applique icon here. There we go, and change that from a satin to a blanket. There we go. So you have the artwork. Now that artwork is in SVG, so you can save it to your cutter, your digital cutter, okay, and cut it out with your digital cutter. And now you have your embroidery file as well. Now that artwork, let's do a Control-C, Control-N for a new page, Control-V. So let's say I don't want it to be an SVG, so we can select it. Because I'm going to cut it with my scissors, we can go File, Save As, save it as a JPEG or a PNG, and there we go. And it's asking you for the height here, which is important, so measure your original file to make sure it's the right height and say OK. So now let's look in our folder and see what we've got in that folder on the desktop. Oh, the cute grandbaby. All right, so we have, there's our PNG file that we could open and then print. Okay, or here are all of our original files. And I didn't save the embroidery file or the SVG yet, but you could save those in this folder as well. Okay, so we could go back here, and I would take this piece out, which is our SVG, Control-C, Control-N, Control-V, File, Save As, an SVG. There we go. And then we'd go back to our embroidery file, and File, Save As, and we'll keep that on our embroidery format and save. Alright, so let's open that folder one more time to make sure we've got everything in there. Woohoo, we do. Oh, and I did, so my software set to save it as my machine format and a WAF file, so I can actually edit it later. And there's my JPEG, or my PNG, and my SVG. Alrighty, so with that, thank you for watching.